let's talk about my community, but actually, this is relevant to everyone's community. What can and should we do at community level?
That's a great question, and I have a very simple answer, which is that your community knows what it should do. And in many ways, this idea of the regenerative paradigm is to stop pretending that the answers are going to come from above, from some smart economist, from some clever politician, and to tap into the genius of place. And one of my teachers is a group called Regenesis, and they are sort of deep promoters of this regenerative paradigm, and they talk about the story of place. And places where geologic reality and human culture intersect. So there's a unique essence to that beautiful place you showed me a picture of. And there are people there who know that place, and if given the opportunity, probably know how to make that place even better. And there's some guiding principles. And I wrote this paper in 2015 called Regenerative Capitalism, and inside it, there are 8 principles of how regenerative systems, regenerative economies, principles they need to abide by. Things like in right relationship, in balance. These are very high level concepts, but can be applied in any context. And so the only advice I would give is to either, there's sort of a fork in the road decision. Do we want to believe in this idea, it's this hypothesis that our well-being will best be served if we move our economy and our society into alignment with how living systems work? And if the answer to that is yes, then I hope my principles are useful, but those aren't the right answer principles. Those are just one person's best articulation of adapting living systems understanding to a human economy. But use them if they're useful and discard them if they're not useful. But the main thing is to engage with a group of local leaders from all sectors of society and the economy, and learn to see your place as a system. And the opportunities for prosperity will often exist in co-benefits, so that if you solve a problem here, you're actually solving 3 other problems over there. Whereas if the typical way we do things is we have a Department of Energy, and a Department of Education, and a Department of Health, and they're all trying to solve their own problems. And that's a reductionist mindset, that's a reductionist approach from the modern age, which is not solving the problems of the integral age that we're in today, or what I would like to call even the regenerative age. So we need to learn to see our places as systems and work across the edges of those systems. And we have a network called the Regenerative Communities Network, which was set up specifically to work with different communities to help them onto this path. But we always insist that the leadership be local, because an outsider is not going to solve a problem in your place any more than you could solve a problem in my place. But I always like to say that these principles apply universally because they're living systems principles. So just as every snowflake is unique, every snowflake looks like a snowflake. So I could come to your beautiful place in New Zealand and see the same patterns as I do if I go to Costa Rica, even though the application of these principles will look very differently. So that's my non-answer answer to how to go about it. But honestly, if you convene a meeting with thoughtful leaders who care and just get clear on what it is you're trying to accomplish, you'd be amazed at what, the genius that exists there that can be tapped into, as opposed to relying on the experts in the different verticals to do their bit, and then the problems arise because that's a reductionist approach and not a holistic approach. And the answers lie, in my opinion, in working through a holistic approach to just about anything from healthcare to education to the economy.